Service calls are the lifeblood of a lot of electrical businesses, but they're also where most contractors make the least money. The problem is usually pricing. Here's how to price service calls so they're actually worth doing. Welcome to Hardwired Trades. If you've ever driven 40 minutes to look at a quick job, diagnosed the problem in 20 minutes, charged accordingly, and then sat there wondering why you're making less per hour than a fast food manager, this video is for you. Service call pricing is one of the most misunderstood parts of running an electrical business. Today, I'm breaking down the right way to think about it, a pricing structure that works, and how to handle the objections you'll get when you implement it. Most contractors who undercharge on service calls do it because they're thinking about the job itself. The 20 minutes to find a bad breaker, the 30-minute outlet repair. They price based on the visible work. But the job isn't just the 20 or 30 minutes on site. It's the drive there and back. It's the time you spent scheduling and confirming. It's the administrative time after. It's the wear on your vehicle. It's the overhead of running a business, insurance, licensing, tools, gas, phone, software. When you add all of that up, a $75 quick service call often nets you less than minimum wage when you account for actual total time and costs. Let me be specific. Say you drive 30 minutes each way to a job. That's 1 hour of drive time. The diagnostic takes 30 minutes. The actual fix takes 20 minutes. You spent 10 minutes scheduling and confirming it. That's already 2 hours of total time. At $75 for the job, you're making $37.50 hours before expenses. After insurance, truck costs, and taxes, you're probably netting $20. You'd make more delivering pizzas. That's the math that kills businesses over time. The foundation of profitable service call pricing is a service call fee, also called a diagnostic fee, trip charge, or show-up fee. This is a flat amount charged just for showing up, regardless of what you find. The range for most markets, $7.50 for residential, $100 to $200 for commercial. This fee covers your drive time, your diagnostic time, your overhead allocation for that job. It is non-negotiable. It is charged whether you do additional work or not. It tells the customer that your time has value and filters out people who waste your time. Here's the key. When customers call and ask if there's a charge just to come out, the answer is yes. State it clearly. We charge a $95 diagnostic fee for service calls, which covers the trip and up to an hour of diagnostic time. Any repair work is quoted separately. If they want a free estimate, that's a different conversation for larger projects, not service calls. The service call fee also filters your customer base. Customers who resist a reasonable trip charge are often the same customers who dispute invoices, don't pay on time, and leave negative reviews. The fee screens them out before you waste a day on them. That's not a bug, it's a feature. The customers who immediately say, yes, that's fine, when can you come, are the customers you want. Beyond the service call fee, you need two pricing approaches in your toolkit. Time and materials, your hourly rate multiplied by time spent, plus materials at cost plus markup. Your hourly rate needs to account for all overhead and desired profit margin. A basic calculation. If you need to clear $100,000 as an owner-operator and you work 2,000 billable hours a year, your break-even labor rate is $50 hour before overhead. Add overhead allocation, insurance, vehicle, tools, etc. of 30 to 50 hour, and your minimum viable rate is 80 to 100 per hour. Most markets support 150 plus hour for residential service work. Flat rate pricing, a fixed price for specific jobs regardless of time taken. Outlet replacement, $125. GFCI install, $150. Breaker replacement, $105. The advantage is customer predictability and your ability to earn more when you're efficient. The disadvantage is risk on jobs that go sideways. Many successful service contractors use flat rate pricing for common jobs and time and materials for troubleshooting and unusual work. This hybrid approach gives you the best of both. When a customer asks how much to replace an outlet, you have an immediate answer. When they ask how much to figure out why half my house has no power, you say it's time and materials with a diagnostic fee to start. If you're buying materials for a job and not marking them up, you're leaving significant money on the table and also absorbing risk for the customer's materials. Standard materials markup for electrical contractors, 20 to 40% above your cost. On a job with $300 in materials, a 30% markup adds $90 to your invoice. This covers your time sourcing materials, your carrying cost if you stock them, and any waste or returns. Include your markup clearly in your pricing or build it into flat rates. Don't apologize for it. Markup on materials is industry standard, and every customer who's thought about it understands it. You are not a wholesale distributor. You are a professional service provider who sources, procures, and installs materials. That service has a price. A note on stocking common materials. If you do a lot of service calls, stock the most common items on your truck: GFCI outlets, various breakers, wire connectors, common fixtures. Every time you don't have to make a supply run, you save 30 to 60 minutes per job. Over a month, that's significant time recovered, which translates directly to more jobs done. 3 most common objections and how to handle them. That's more than I expected. Response: I understand. Our pricing reflects the full cost of doing the work correctly, with licensed professionals, proper permits where required, and a warranty on our work. Is there a specific number you were expecting? Let me see if we can work with that. Don't immediately discount. Understand their expectation first. Sometimes their expectation is unrealistic. Sometimes there's a smaller scope that fits their budget. Someone else will do it cheaper. Response: there are always cheaper options. The question is what you're getting for that price. We're licensed, insured, and we pull permits when required. If something cheaper includes all of that, it's worth considering. If it doesn't, you're taking on risk. Let the facts do the selling. You don't need to trash the competition. Just be clear about what your professionalism covers. Why is there a service call fee if I'm hiring you? Response: the service call fee covers the diagnostic work, finding the problem. Once we know what the fix requires, we give you a quote for the repair. If you choose to move forward, the service call fee is often credited toward the repair cost. Note: crediting the service call fee toward the repair is a commonly used strategy to soften the fee while still charging it. The customer feels like they're not paying for the diagnosis if they proceed. You still collected it regardless. Profitable service call pricing. Charge a non-negotiable service call fee. Know your actual hourly rate and make sure your pricing covers it. Use a hybrid of flat rate and time and materials depending on the job. Mark up materials appropriately. Handle price objections with confidence, not apology. Your time has value. Price it that way. The contractors who thrive long-term are not the ones who won jobs by being cheap. They're the ones who priced correctly, delivered quality, and built relationships with customers who valued professionalism. That starts with how you price your first interaction. If you're tired of quoting every job from scratch and fielding "how much does it cost" calls all day, a flat rate price book changes everything. A flat rate price book is a pre-calculated menu of prices for your most common services. Outlet replacement, X dollars. Breaker replacement, X. GFCI install, ceiling, fan installation with existing wiring, X dollars. When a customer asks the price, you look it up. When a customer asks, what will it cost to replace 3 outlets, you can give them a price in 30 seconds that's already profitable. How to build yours. Start with your 20 most common service call jobs. List them out. For each one, calculate your time to complete the job, average hours, the typical material cost, your overhead allocation per hour, and your target profit margin. Price it so that even on your worst day, when the job takes slightly longer than expected, you're still profitable. Price your flat rates at the high end of your time estimate, not the average. If a job typically takes 45 minutes but occasionally takes 90, price for the 90-minute version. You'll average out ahead and never lose money on the slow ones. Software tools like Jobber and Housecall Pro allow you to build a price book inside the system and pull prices directly into quotes and invoices. This speeds up the estimating process significantly and keeps your pricing consistent across multiple jobs and technicians. A flat rate price book also makes you more credible to customers. That job is $175, is more professional and easier to understand than it'll be about an hour to an hour and a half at $120 per hour plus materials. Customers prefer clarity. Clarity builds trust. Trust closes jobs. How you present your price matters almost as much as the price itself. Two contractors charging the same rate can have completely different close rates based on how they communicate value. Always present your price with context. The service call fee is $95. That covers the diagnostic, up to an hour of my time looking at the problem and the written assessment. The repair is quoted separately once we know what we're dealing with. That's not the same as blurting out $95 when they ask. Context explains the value they're receiving for the money. Anchor high when presenting options. If there are two ways to address a problem, a temporary fix and a permanent fix, present the permanent solution first. It anchors the customer's expectations at the higher end of the price range, making the total quote feel reasonable by comparison. Don't apologize for your price. Saying, "I know this is more than you probably expected," communicates insecurity and invites pushback. State the price directly and confidently. The total for this job is X dollars. Then be quiet. Let the customer respond. When someone pushes back on price, don't immediately discount. Ask a question. What were you expecting to pay for this work? Their answer tells you whether there's a realistic path to a mutually agreeable price, or whether you're simply not the right fit for this particular customer. Not every job is worth doing at a price that makes you resent the work. The electricians who consistently charge what they're worth aren't more skilled than the ones who undercharge. They're more confident in communicating value. That confidence is a skill that develops with practice. The sooner you start practicing it, the sooner your revenue reflects what your work is actually worth. What's your current service call fee, or do you charge one at all? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious what different markets are doing. Subscribe for more on running a profitable electrical contracting business. See you next time. Script 026, Hardwired Trades, Service Call Pricing.